Why I quit being a lawyer to become a YouTuber. What's going on, people? My name is Zulfikar and welcome to my YouTube channel, which is about helping you undo the conditioning and programming of this degenerate society so that you can actually live the life you want to live, free from the bias of this society. If you like the sound of that, please go ahead and click the subscribe button because this episode is going to go quite deep into the conditioning of society and how it's impacted my life. Now, the title is a little bit of a clickbaity headline. However, it does hold true because I have quit pretty much being a lawyer, and I now, for all intents and purposes, am a YouTuber. But the journey wasn't a straight line from lawyer to YouTuber. There was a lot of stuff in between, and I'm going to go through that process so you have an understanding. And if it's a change that you want to make in your life, this video will help you. So I'm going to start off with obviously the legal career and why I became a lawyer in the first place. Just like most people in today's society, there was no real desire for me to be a lawyer. It was simply the programming of society in that you had to become a professional. You had to go to school, you had to get a university degree, you had to become a professional, etc. And I really went through that process. I did well at school, I did well at high school, I did well at college, I did well at university, got the law degree, but never really had a desire to be a lawyer. And I think it was around about the final year of university where I really started to question where I was headed, because it was in the final year of university where I realized that surely there has to be more to life than this. Like, I've already started the degree, I've done well at school, I've spent all of this time working hard. And then what were the next steps? The next steps were to finish the degree, then go to law school for 1 year, then get a training contract, and then work for the rest of my life. Like, that just didn't sit well with me. And at the time, I was asking my fellow colleagues and fellow students, don't you think there's more to life? Don't you think there's more to life than what we're doing? Is this it? Is this all there is? And for the most part, everybody I spoke to said, yes, this is it, and no, there isn't more to life. So I went through the process of finishing the degree, and then I got a job, and then I went back to law school because I absolutely hated working. So the only reason I went back to law school was because that 1 year in full-time employment was probably, still is, the worst year I've ever had. And it was because I hated working that I went back to law school and did 1 year of law school. And then after law school, I got my first professional job in a law firm, which took me 6 months to land. And then I progressed from there. So, I went to a different law firm, then I got a training contract, then I qualified as a lawyer. But that whole period was one full of misery. I did not enjoy. Obviously I did come across and meet a lot of amazing people. I made some great friends, and there were some great moments in that phase, but for the most part I hated it because the day-to-day running of my life was just not enjoyable. Literally, the week started on the Sunday evening where I was miserable and depressed and anxious about work starting tomorrow. They call it the Sunday blues, the Sunday scaries, whatever the words are that they use these days. The fact is, I was miserable on a Sunday because I knew I had to go to work the next morning. And then the next morning, Monday morning, I used to wake up absolutely depressed. And sometimes I used to wake up in the middle of the night full of anxiety and stress and depression that I'm going to go to work tomorrow. And then when I finally eventually did wake up, I was depressed. I got changed, and then in the early part of my career, I used to go on a commute. So I used to go on a bus and then a train. And then when you go on a train in rush hour, it's absolutely horrendous. It's cold, it's wet, and everybody just cramming on, and you're squashed and you're squeezing inside this train journey, and all the windows are steamed up, and it's just a horrible experience. And then you get to work, and then you're doing work or I was certainly doing work which I just did not enjoy. And then even later on in the career, when I had a car, I had a flashy car, the fact that I had to sit in traffic for 30, 40, 45 minutes. It was just awful for me. Now, I know that there's a little bit of entitlement there because there's people out there that would love to have a job like this, and there's people struggling out there, but obviously that's a separate topic, and maybe I'll go into that in another video. But for me, like, that whole process of sitting in awful traffic, doing a job I absolutely hated, and then coming home and being too depressed, too low energy, and too miserable to do anything else, it just wasn't working. So I had to find a different road. I had to find a different route. I had to find something else to do. So what is the other thing? Well, it's to start your own business. It's to go down the path of entrepreneurship. And today you still have that, people like quit your job, or 9 to 5 is slavery, job is just over broke, forget the job, start your business, become an entrepreneur. So I did that, and I tried so many different business models. Like, I did white labeling, like I imported products from China, tried to set up a brand like that. I did drop shipping. I've made money as a copywriter. I've even tried Facebook advertising. I've learned how to design websites. I've dabbled in affiliate marketing. I've done so many different things. And obviously there's the business acquisitions, which is still kind of ongoing. Obviously I've got that business with David. But all of these things, I found that, I still wasn't happy. Like, I didn't have a boss anymore. I wasn't in traffic anymore. I wasn't commuting anymore, and I wasn't spending most of my day following orders and doing something I absolutely hated and which made me miserable. But I found that I was still very busy, and I still was doing things that I didn't particularly want to do. And it comes back to the idea of, why was it that initially I didn't enjoy working? Well, it was because I didn't enjoy that lifestyle. And then when I made that transition into business and entrepreneurship, I found that I'm still not enjoying that lifestyle because I'm still busy working and not doing the stuff that I wanted to do. And it comes down to this, because what I've come to realize is, today it might be either get a job, be an employee, or start your own business. And, these paths are seemingly sold to you as two separate paths, but the problem is they both have the same root, they both have the same foundation, and they both come from the foundation of materialism, wealth, status. Basically, they both have the same God, and that God is, like I just mentioned, wealth, materialism, status. You're just trying to make money to basically improve your status, to basically buy all of these fancy things like cars and houses, which again is improving your status. And it doesn't matter whether you go down the path of employment or whether you go down the path of entrepreneurship, the selling point is exactly the same. And what do I mean by that? Well, the selling point for the career was, get a good degree, get a good job so you can make more money, so you can have the big house, so you can get the big car, and you can live a life of luxury. And what's the selling point of business and entrepreneurship? It's exactly the same thing. Start a business so you can make more money, so you can get the big house, get the big car, and live a life of luxury. So despite them being sold as two different paths, they are in fact based upon the same foundation. So when I realized that, it's not working for me with this business and entrepreneurship simply because I'm doing things that I don't want to do, I made a switch. And what was the switch that I made? Well, I decided to prioritize lifestyle over income. And what does that mean? Well, I made a post a few weeks ago where I said something like, don't chase a career, or, don't build a career, don't build a business, build a lifestyle, and then make an income generating asset fit into that lifestyle. So that's what I have done, and I found that YouTube is going to be the best platform for me to maintain that lifestyle. And what does it mean by lifestyle? What do I mean by lifestyle? What is that lifestyle that I want to live? Well, the number one priority for me now is religion. So the 5 daily prayers. So in Islam, we pray 5 times. We pray 5 times a day. So my priority is to make sure I consistently hit those 5 daily prayers. In addition to that, I want to pray the Quran more, and I want to read a translation of the Quran. So reading the Quran in Arabic and then reading it in English to obviously further my understanding. So that is my first priority, and linked to that first priority is my family. So I want to spend more time with my children. I want to spend more time being flexible so I can have breakfast with my family, so I can be there for all the practices, for all the extracurricular activities. And then after that, I want to spend more time going to the gym. Obviously, I've had this period where I did 75 hard, but that's very difficult to maintain when you've got a busy career, or when you're busy with your business. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is I want to spend more time meditating. And again, that's linked to the first, becoming more religious, because obviously zikr is something in the Islamic tradition, which is meditation, but more focused on God. But I want to try obviously other forms of meditation as well. And the fifth thing, like really, this is probably the real reason why I was upset during the university days and the early working days. The fifth thing is I want to spend more time reading actual physical books. So as you can see in the background over there, I have a lot of books. I absolutely love reading. This is a passion of mine. But the problem is I just can't find the time to read those books. I'm not one of those that only read a book that makes you better, read a book on entrepreneurship. Like, those books are the worst books. Like, I have a very wide range of topics and interests, and I like reading about all of these things, but I just don't have the time. So those are the things that I have prioritized, and now I need to find an income generating asset to fit in and basically maintain that lifestyle. So that's the shift. Before, it was career first, and then trying to fit all of these 5 things into that life, which didn't work. And then it was business first, and then trying to fit these 5 things into that lifestyle didn't work. The shift that I've now made is these 5 things first, and then the business or career or the income generating asset. Now with with copywriting, with all the other online businesses, this can work, but again, it's very difficult, especially when you're doing client work. So why have I chosen YouTube? Well, because this is what's going to allow me to basically make these videos to grow an income, but it's all on my own schedule. I don't need any clients. I don't need a boss. I don't need to do any of that. It's literally me making videos, editing them, putting them out, and then promoting them, and then using the YouTube channel to generate that income, which I can do in my own time whenever I want, basically based on my whole schedule. Now, this is one thing that people who try to sell you these starter business courses say, that if you have a boss, you don't have your own schedule, you don't have your own flexibility. Well, that might be the case, but the same thing applies when you have clients. Like, when you have clients, once again, you can sort of have your own schedule, but then that schedule is dependent on your clients as well, because they might be demanding, they might need a call, and they might have only certain times of the week when they can take those calls, and they might have deadlines. So literally, client work is as stressful as office work for a boss. And sometimes it can be worse. Obviously, you can get some good clients which don't give you that much hassle, and that's great, all good and well. But for me, the best freedom and flexibility is going to come from this YouTube channel and the podcast. And that's really why I've made the transition from lawyer to YouTuber and all of that stuff in between. Will it work? I don't know, but at the moment, the YouTube channel has started generating income. It's pennies, it's nothing major, but it's proof that this can work. So the following year, I'm going to spend a lot more time on YouTube, like I mentioned in the last video, and that's the whole purpose behind it. That's the reason why I've shifted away from what society has conditioned and programmed. Basically, have a career. That's the first programming. And if that doesn't work, the second programming, which is just as bad, is start a business, have a business, be an entrepreneur. If you enjoy that kind of thing, brilliant. Go for it. I mean, if you enjoy your job, if you enjoy your career, by all means, stick with it. Go at it full throttle. And the same thing with your business. If you enjoy that stuff, absolutely go for it. But if you're like me and you don't really enjoy that and you want to spend time doing other things, then this video is really for you, because that programming of this society doesn't work for me I don't want the programming of having to have a career which takes all of my time. I don't want the programming of having a business which takes all of my time. I want to have my lifestyle first and then an income generating asset to basically maintain that lifestyle. So I hope you found value in this video. Let me know where you're at. Do you have a job which sucks and that you hate? Do you have a business which you hate? Are you conditioned by society? Are you feeling the pressure because of societal conditioning that you need to have either a career or a business? Or have you actually found the balance? Have you found that path where you can do the things you want to do on a daily basis and have your income generating activity as well? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye bye.